You're listening to Let's Be Real.
Hello, welcome to Let's Be Real with Tara Space. And today we have an awesome interview for you. We are interviewing young lady Sedatress Brown. She's going to share her experience, her life story. And the purpose is that someone else who may be in the midst of going through the same things, or a young lady who's struggling to keep going, will be encouraged and see hope from Sedatress Story. So I want you to join. I want you to like, share this episode, and also comment with us. Let us know right now what you're thinking, and we can share with you. So
Hello, hello,
Sedatress,
hello.
thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do the interview. Thank you for sharing your story with our listeners. This is a podcast as well as it's going to be on YouTube.
Hmm.
So this is Let's Be Real. So we're going to
Okay.
keep it real. But I
Okay.
always say anything you don't want to talk about, we will not, just out of
Okay.
respect. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I want to start from the beginning. Okay. We're going to take a roller coaster ride through your life quickly. Um,
Okay.
but uh, share with us in the beginning. So, because I want the listeners to get to know you too. In the beginning, um, in our conversation, you had shared that you were a ward of the state.
Hmm.
What age was that?
Oh, I was young. I was young. I can't even remember that exact age.
Really, like before five?
It had to be somewhere up in there. I'll probably say four, maybe five. Let's just go with five. Um,
Okay.
like I said, the age, but I can remember the exact day been taken, what happened and stuff like that. But as far as
Do
age,
you
I'm
mind like
not quite sure.
sharing why that you were taken from your mom?
At that time back then, if I'm not mistaken, my mom was on drugs. We had been on the run with her for quite a while. Um, Never really got into the whys and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Asking her and stuff. Like I say, the exact day of being taken, I remember her vividly. She took us to our granny house, and one of them called the people and told them that we was there, and they came and picked us up. And at that time, me and my sister was gone. It was that was it.
Wow. Did you
Yeah.
ever like have interactions with your mom? Did they let you like see her or her come see you while you were out
And
of her custody?
yes, we did visitation.
Okay.
And for a while that stopped completely. Uh, but we wound up doing visitation when she got herself together, got out of jail and stuff like that. Yeah, so we did.
Okay.
We did.
Did they place you and your sister together or did they separate you?
We luckily we stuck together.
Okay. That was good.
Yeah. At one point they was for to separate us, but that's when I we wound up in our last home, with my aunt. And my aunt, that's who raised us from then on.
Oh, okay. And around what age was that?
Mm, by this time we was in middle school.
Wow. So from about 4 or 5 to middle school. So you're saying about what, 11 years old, you were in different
Hmm.
homes?
Yeah, I remember at that time we went to West Coffee. We started West Coffee, so it had to be middle school then. And we moved with my aunt, and because at that time, if we didn't get go with her, we was gonna have to be separated into two different
Okay.
homes. And to keep that
Okay.
from happening, that's what she got us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was good. And then you mentioned there was some abuse. Was it in the different homes that you were abused?
Uh, the first home was the best home I tell anybody hands down that I've been in.
Wow.
Um, it was in Willacoochee, Georgia. A pastor and a wife. She was at that time. She was a teacher. She worked at the grocery store. He was a pastor, and he wrote the bus. I still call them mom and dad to this day. The second
Mhm.
home, it was okay, but it wasn't okay.
Okay.
um, as far as like being on punishment, we seemed like I stayed on punishment, having to sit in the room, couldn't go
Mm,
nowhere. My third home with my aunt and stuff, I love them to death, but we all had our ups and downs, you know what I'm saying?
right.
So it was tough. Like I told you back then, I didn't care anything about school. School at that time for me was an escape route. Don't bother me. I'm just here to be here, just to get away from home. Other than that,
Right. And not
I'm
it
just
was it
here.
was a physical escape, but mentally you didn't
Yeah,
you wasn't
yeah.
in tune with anything.
No, no, ma'am.
So now when you speak of abuse, was it kind of like a physical abuse or
No,
like sexual?
no. Sexual abuse didn't never took really just never took place as far as like how can I break it down? My first home, nobody never knew it. This is like the first time I'm talking about it. But a family member of theirs was touching on me, but I never spoke on it. You know,
Hmm.
I was just like, "Hey, stop." My last home, things happened sexually, but I never spoke on it. My auntie them knew about it. Of course, they addressed it or whatever. That was it. As far as abuse, we would say verbally. It was verbally abuse in there.
Hmm.
I just always was the child that stayed on punishment. They knew that a whooping and anything wouldn't phase me. It was
Okay.
she's on punishment. Yeah, I didn't at that time I was mentally shut down. I don't care. Just beat me or whatever you're gonna do
Hmm.
so I can go.
So
And so
right. So
once that
you're
yeah,
always trying to
yeah.
get away from the
Get
situation,
away
away
from
from
there,
that
yeah.
reality.
Yeah, yeah. So if you just beat on me, I don't care what you do, let me go. And they caught
Hmm.
on to it. So that's when I was being placed on actual punishment. Couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do this, couldn't do that.
So that
That's
was
how
worse
that
for you
went.
because then you had to actually sit in the environment and know that you were there. So you couldn't even escape at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Like I say, it wasn't too much of sexual, just the verbal, the girls we had to do so much. We just had a lot on us as far as girls,
Mhm.
the girls.
And you were young. I
Hmm.
mean, you guys were still kids and you had to basically grow up really quickly.
Yes, yes, yes. I did a lot of things, honey. to take to take care of me. Yes, ma'am.
but, but I mean, the life kind of dealt you that hand. So you just figured out as a child
Mhm, mhm,
how to maneuver it the best you
mhm.
could.
The best I could.
So now, with a lot of people not knowing what you were enduring, now I'm going to fast forward. I met you in high school.
Mhm.
And you were definitely rough around the edges, had an attitude from here to Kansas.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
God.
share what your mindset was then, because again, I didn't even know the full story of what you have been through. I just know here's this.
Mhm.
Why is this girl so angry?
In high school, it's like first of all, I just have to. I tell you all the time. I just thank God for you, man. I don't know what it is that you saw in me that nobody else did, but I just thank God for you, girl.
So
um,
what? So let's stay there for a second, and I appreciate it. Thank you. It was all love. Believe that.
mhm, mhm.
Um, what was it? Because I can't think of anything that I actually did other than basically try to help you.
I think it was that love, that attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, for an example, when I got ready, I made up my mind that you remember back then when they used to have the people to come out to the school and ask
Mhm.
you what you want to be when you grow up and stuff. This particular time in high school, they had came in and I was asking the officer off the wall questions compared to everybody else. Hey, if I leave home, what would happen? And the man said, well, if you go out and commit a crime at the age 17, you're going to the county. Oh, okay
Mhm.
then. So I'm thinking all this stuff. So I made up my mind at this point, I'm running away. I
Mhm.
didn't care. I was leaving. Well, I had an uncle and his wife. They was married at the time. They're separated, and he loved me too so much. Him and his wife, and I stayed with him one night. And the next morning, I woke up and I was still because I was supposed to on his way to work the next morning. He's supposed to took me back home.
Mhm.
Well, when I got up, I was still there, and I told his wife, I said, "I'm not going back. And if I go back, I'm leaving." And she was like, "Are you
Mhm.
serious?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she was like, "Well, don't do it. He's not gonna make you go and this and that." I said, "Okay. Well, if he make me go, I'm telling you I'm leaving. I just call you and tell you I'm okay." Where I was gonna go, I don't know, but I had done had enough. That's all I
Mhm.
know. I had done had enough, and I was just gonna leave. Um, and that's how that went. And I moved in with them. And when I moved in with them, it was just like the things that kids nowadays feel as though like the punishments, the parents been tough on them and stuff like that. It was something about his attention and her attention and your attention that y'all gave me, being rough on me. That this is what love is. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It was the opposite for me. Other kids, they tired of this. They don't want to know. This man and they made sure we ate, we had food, we clothes. Y'all going to bed at a certain time. I was bringing in C's and stuff at that time, and I remember him looking at me and said, "I'm gonna let you slide with this C, but you got to bring it up." And it was just
Hmm.
like, because he's saying this, he care about me, my well being, and you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying. You was like, "Hey, you got to do better." I wanted to, but at the time, I didn't care about doing better. I just
Hmm.
had too much going on, So that's how that worked.
Hmm.
And that was
And I
the
didn't
only
leave you
father figure
alone.
I had.
Look, I didn't leave you alone.
You didn't.
I know y'all was like, if this face don't get out of our
And
face.
every time I look up, you peeping at the door. You all right? Or pulling me out of class. So it was just that attention and that love. Like I knew a little bit of me, in the back of my mind a little bit. She actually cares. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
because you didn't have to do that. You could tell who care and who don't care,
Right.
basically.
And I'm glad you said that because in high school, that's so important because teachers and administrators, it's just really easy to give up on a student and think they don't care, so why should I care? But, what you're saying now is some of you have things going on that, it's hard to care when you're
Mm-hmm.
struggling and trying to survive outside of school,
Yep. Absolutely.
so that extra
Absolutely.
time and patience does mean a lot. So I'm saying that to the educators out there, like, know
Mm-hmm.
that these young people, they need you.
Yeah, most definitely. Most
So
definitely.
let's say your senior year. What were you thinking about? Because like you said, they're coming to school. Now it's getting close to graduation. Were you even thinking about life after that? Or I'm just gonna like what were you thinking your life could be?
I don't know. I was a lost soul. It was just, I don't know. As far as that goes, what was I gonna do after school? No. I always knew that being a nurse is what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was gonna try to use the military for that escape route. Because like I say, knowing anything about college, all this type of stuff, you spoke on that, but I didn't know anything about that. I don't know what routes to take. I didn't know none of that. So to make it easier for me, maybe I need to go in the military. Where I tried that. That didn't go as planned. Because I was flat footed and all this other type of stuff I had going
Mm-hmm. Me,
on.
me too. So no.
Yeah. So that didn't work out. So it was just like I knew, and I want to say that this time it was maybe at the age 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
It hit me that being a nurse was what I was supposed to do because my auntie had a lady that came over and she had did something and she needed help cleaning herself up. And I was like, I want to do this. This is what I'm supposed to do. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since then, I remember doing that, and that's what I'm doing now. Um,
So now you struggled because you didn't care. So you
mhm,
struggled in high school more
mhm,
so because your mind just wasn't in it.
mhm, mhm,
Life was kicking you in the back.
mhm,
But it looked as if academically you couldn't do it,
mhm,
right?
mhm. Yep.
So how did you make that transition? Because like I said, you struggled a lot trying to graduate. And I think we did some alternatives
Yeah.
to
We
get
went, I
you
had
graduated.
I had to go through ombudsman. I think that's
Right.
what it was called. I had to get my
Hmm.
diploma through that. As long as I got it, I
There,
went through
and there
that
you
little
go. We,
route.
we got you out of high. We got you with a
Yeah.
diploma. So,
Yeah. Because I was just
how did you make
like,
the transition from that struggle to getting to 12th grade and almost feeling like, okay, how am I going to get out of high school? To now, I want to go back to school to be a nurse because that's very hard. The terminology, the time, it's hard.
it's hard, definitely. I didn't graduate with my actual class. A few of us, the problem kids, we had to go through a school called
Not my babies.
we had to go through a school called that correct how to pronounce it, ombudsman
I'm
or something
about.
like that. Yeah, we had to do that for the little summer program and stuff like that. But I was determined because I knew that was gonna be something I had to have. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Here's a second chance to get it, so you need to take this opportunity. And I took that second opportunity to get to my diploma. I got it. Boom. Long as I got this, I could move forward.
Hmm.
So then after school, that's when I met my son dad. And like I said, I always knew that Douglas was not for me. A friend of mine can tell you that I used to tell all the time, I'm leaving here. I don't belong here. And
Okay.
and that's God put a guy from Arkansas into my life. And boom,
Wow.
I had a child. Yes, I had a child from him. And I moved to Arkansas. I've been here since then. Well, I had moved back. I moved back home because that's what that was a domestic relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
at that
some
time, I
domestic
moved.
violence in that.
Yes, big time. So then, when he was 6 months, I moved back home,
Okay.
and at that time, still not knowing what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I was just at a fast food restaurant at McDonald's here. And when I went back home, I was probably there for it probably wasn't even a full week. And I looked at her and said, sis, I gotta go back. And she was like, why? I was like, I just gotta go back. This not it. I told you I don't belong here. And for the sake of my son, I am willing to endure being in that relationship a little while longer, just for his sake. And
Okay.
she thought I was crazy, but like I said, God has a plan for everything, you know. So I
Hmm.
came back.
You came back to be with him?
Yeah, I went back. Like I said, I because when I went back home, was nothing was going right, nothing was good. It was just like my mom had no relapse on drugs. Everything around me, everybody was still in the my mindset has always been different. You know what I'm saying? Like being open minded and looking at things different, all type of stuff. And I knew if I stayed there, I was gonna be stuck. This is not it.
Okay.
I always wanted better, you know. As I got
Right.
older, you know what I'm saying. You seeing how him and his wife interact with each other. This is how marriage is supposed to be. Seeing how Miss
Right.
Spate and her husband and your kids at school interact with each other. That's how life's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? The love that I got from my first foster care. This is how life's supposed to be. So I knew all
So
of
that
that.
was good.
All
You had some examples of what
yeah,
to look
what?
for.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
that's
what made you go back to the abusive relationship when you knew that wasn't what you wanted?
my son. I tell
Okay.
everybody my son. When I told my sister, I said, I can't stay here. For the sake of my son, I'm willing to go back and endure it. Whatever God
Really?
plan is, for the sake of my child, I will take any whoopings I got to take, whatever the case may be, because I know I wasn't gonna be in it long. It's just something about it. I just knew, you know what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So, and everything played out how God had it planned, and I'm
Okay.
here today.
So, so do you think you endured and you had some, relationship issues because of not really feeling worthy of yourself or not thinking you deserved good relationships just from your past?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So how do you feel about yourself now?
With therapy and everything I had to go through, I'm in a great place. I love me now for who I am.
Amen.
I'm still digging and still getting to know me. Because
Mm-hmm.
at one point I didn't know who I was, what I was. I just knew I was a mother out here just trying to make it. Compared to then, like the last group therapy that me and my kids went to, like I just finally told her, I said, this is one of the best sessions that we just had thus far, meaning my mind wasn't so full with a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was always in our group sessions and my therapy sessions, but my mind went clear. Like
Right.
now I'm at a place where I'm focusing on school. I'm zooming in on my kids, how they react, what they doing,
Mhm.
how they move. I always been this fun mom and fun person to be around, but now I'm just focused. No
Right.
man, not worrying about nobody else in life, just me and my kids.
Right. Now, how are they doing? Because a lot of times we go back for the sake of the kids, not realizing that what we're enduring, they're enduring too. So, your son had to experience some of that with you.
By the grace of God, my son was at that time my oldest. He was one, two, um,
Okay.
1 or 2. So he don't even remember. He don't
Okay.
even
Yes.
remember.
Thank God.
Yes, he just know about the little stories I tell him and what he hear other folks talking. When I'm trying to encourage the next person, that's about all the thing he hear, and then he'll go to asking questions, of course. But
Right.
luckily he don't remember. And I prayed to God. I prayed and told God I was just tired. I did not want him to experience this. To think
Hmm.
that it's okay for a man to do a woman like this and all that type of
Right.
stuff. And One night it was just like it was the first sincere actual prayer that I did, and the next day I got up. That's when everything hit the fan and unfolded, and that was my escape route. And I moved on. He moved on. Life still was tough, not knowing who I was. I was still talk. How can we put it? When you lost like that, you tend to get in some of the craziest relationships through trauma
Yes,
bond and want to be loved. We everybody get lust and love confused, thinking you love somebody, but it's really based off lust. Uh, just to say I got a man, all that. You know,
exactly.
I went through all of that. All that phase. So that's how that went. Then I
Okay.
got my
And I'm
second
glad you
son,
said that
Dad.
because now you're preparing and you're setting a foundation for your sons, for them to thrive, for them to grow, to know
Absolutely.
you. Okay, great. And education is important?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I tell everybody, please, I'm hard on my kids, y'all. Stick through it. Focus in
Mm-hmm.
school. If I can turn back the hands of time and tell Miss Davenport, I remember that lady looked me dead in my face and told me, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna wish you would have listened in school. And I do. I do. The knowledge,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the lack of knowledge I had is like, man, if I can just get another chance, I pay attention. I do good. I would be that kid who can tell you what such and such mean, and without having to dig it up, and can
Mm-hmm.
speak proper the terminology and stuff.
You speak well. Don't even worry about that. And the fact that, how close are you to being a nurse?
I'm in my last semester now of my prereqs, my last two classes, and I'm hoping to get accepted to the nursing program for the summer. If I don't,
Look at that.
um,
That's amazing. Just like
yeah.
if anyone knew your full story, just what you're sharing to us right
Oh
now, what you
yeah.
had to endure, and you didn't give up. And now you're
Mhm.
so close to fulfilling your dream that you
Mhm.
had when you didn't even know what life was going to be, if you
Mhm.
would survive. That's a testament, to your
Mhm.
perseverance. And yes, God
Mhm.
watching over you.
Yeah. It's
So
God. I
if
tell
you
everybody
could,
it's
right?
God.
Exactly, and I love it. I'm a troll. I'm just gonna let you know now. If I don't say nothing, I still be watching. I watch y'all. I see what y'all be posting. I'm like, okay, they good. Okay, she good.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm very proud of
Thank
what
you.
you've been doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So right now, as we kind of end it, because again, the purpose was so that your testimony, your life story, can encourage and help someone else that may be going through, that may think just like you, I want to give up, I just want to escape, I want to get out of here. To know to find that someone, if there's someone in there showing them some attention, some love, grab onto them. Use that, use
Definitely.
their support systems. What would you say to a child that's in the situation you were in, like being taken from their parents and having to endure, being with strangers and not really feeling part of? And then what would you tell to another young lady who may be feeling like giving up because she's been through it?
Due to the fact this was a fast podcast interview, it's a lot that I didn't tell. So, with that being said, just to tell any and young, old, to know that there is a God. If we just,
Amen.
I don't care how hard the situation is, and it's easier said than done. I get it. I tell everybody that. Depression, mental illness, all type of things. It's the devil already have it set up for as we're young. You know what I'm saying, to take us out.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to know somewhere down the line that there is a light at the end of the tunnel if we can just endure. Kids, as children, we don't know that, but for some odd reason, I knew that. As a child, I would sit up and write letters, dear God, dear God, dear God.
Wow.
Nobody never taught me of God, you know what I'm saying, but
Mm-hmm.
self. And just to know that He has a plan for every person on this earth. And if you can just push yourself to know that if I just keep going, I got to
Mm-hmm.
keep going. It's a light at the end of the tunnel, regardless of whatever you got to go through, because that pain and that suffering and all that we have to go through is to make us who we are, uh, and get us to where he wants us to be for our
Yes.
purpose and his plan. If we can just hold on. I tell anybody that just hold on. And if you got somebody that you can trust, call on them,
Hmm.
you know. Holding in to others may be good. It was good for me sometimes
Hmm.
until I found you, you know, and got with my best friend, you know, and that's who I talk to every time, all the time now.
Hmm.
But I mean, all glory go to God, man.
So now I want you to talk before
Oh,
we end to that young lady who's in an abusive relationship. Let's help her out. What would you say helped you to get through it? Um, Basically, and still live to tell it, because there are a lot of young ladies who are not here today because they stayed.
get out. You know, you gotta love self first to know. Get out. Get out. You may have your times where you gonna double back, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
get out and know that you can do it alone. Okay, how many kids you got? I'm not one who set up to deal with excuses. You know, 'cause as long as you push yourself and you apply the pressure, God is gonna send people in your path to help you. That's
Mhm.
100% true. You do what you're
Mhm.
supposed to do as a human being, as a person. You treat people right. You love people, and you continue to pray. He's gonna send people your way to help you along the way. You know,
Yes.
you don't then know that you don't have to stay nowhere where a man is abusive to you, where family members are abusive to you, friends. Nobody, cut them off. Let it go. It gets lonely, it gets bored, but hey, all of that is not worth it. It's so much better being in a peaceful state of mind. Right now,
That's
every
it.
day I get
Peace.
up, I'm at peace. I can get up. I don't have to deal with no homegirls calling me. I don't have to deal with a man want to beat on me. I don't have to deal with none of that. None. I'm at peace.
Mhm.
You know, I'd rather be bored, but hey, am I bored and still getting beat up at the same time? No. I may be bored, but am I
Exactly.
bored?
No, you're
Yeah, am I
definitely,
bored?
I
Yeah.
love it that, you said that, because a lot of young ladies will say, I'm staying for the kids. And you don't know how many adult kids now wish their parents would have, the mother would have left or
Would
the
have
father
left.
would have left, because now they're
Mhm.
damaged because of all that they saw.
Mhm.
Um, and
Mhm.
sometimes we have to love ourselves enough to even know,
Mhm.
even in the struggle, like you said, it gets better. You trust and believe in God.
Mhm.
He does open doors. It may not always be the doors
Mhm.
we want, but it's the
One.
best
Yep.
door that's
Yep.
going to get you to that next door.
Yeah. And
So
I
I
just
thank
because I
you.
went back for my child, I'm not advising nobody else to go back. That was just something that was part of my plan. You know, Douglas
Right.
wasn't the route
It
for
was
me.
your
So
journey.
in order to get it was my journey. In order to get me where I need you to be, you got to go here a little more, but you're gonna be safe in the meantime. You know, he's not gonna
Hmm.
take you out, but you got to go back just for a little while. So I'm not. It's not for
Hmm.
everybody. Everybody's story is different. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. And listen, and if you're going to say that, you better know you hear from God, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's right. Got to know that. Got to.
But
What
I
it?
thank you. I thank you
it
again. And we didn't want to tell all your business, but I wanted it to be enough so that
mhm.
someone watching um, is helped, is encouraged, is
Mhm.
motivated to
Mhm.
keep going that next step. And no, it's not easy, but it's doable. And you
Absolutely.
are a walking testament that is possible.
Absolutely. Most definitely possible.
So I
Most
thank
definitely
you.
possible. Yes, ma'am. I thank
Thank
you
you for
for
taking the time
asking.
out with us today, Sedatress.
Yes, ma'am. Always, always. You know, I